Hi everyone, welcome to Business is the Chat. My name is Milenteng Matipili. I am the host of Business is the Chat. So the reason for Business is the Chat is to talk to various entrepreneurs and corporates and anything to do with business because the whole initiative is to try and get information and to learn from each other as entrepreneur and talk about business topics, talk about entrepreneurship. So I started this whole thing hoping to help out entrepreneurs and see how we can help each other and grow each other. So today's segment is going to be about brand management. I feel like brand management is so important because people start their own brand and they don't even have strategies in place. They just feel like you put a color and a logo and it's just that. So a lot of things go into brand management. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my panel. Thank you guys for joining in today. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Great,
Good
great.
on yourself.
All as well.
Awesome. I'm
Howdy.
awesome. Okay, so I'd like you guys to please introduce yourselves and give us a high level review of your brand. So I'd like to welcome our first guest speaker, Morale.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Um, I'm known as Moral, but my name is Tabo Malefani. Um, I'm a music publisher. Been a music publisher for the past 4 years. But I've been in the music business for like the last 15 years. I'm an award-winning artist. Um, I've got 2 albums out as an artist as Morel, the rapper. And all I do is music publishing, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm interested in investing in the financial markets, um, and other business ventures. Yeah. Basically, I'm an entrepreneur, music publisher, and um, artist.
Thank you so much, Morale.
Yeah.
So our next guest speaker, AB, are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be, Mo. My name is AKA AB. Abungile Tsai. I've been in the business of building brands for the past 7 years now. I'm a brand manager by profession. I love good food, good music, and spending time with my family. And I'm really excited with today's segment on where we will be dissecting the pros and cons of brand management, whether you are in a high functioning um, role within the corporate or you're just starting your own brand as a small business, will get you keyed up with all the necessary information you'd like to know. Thanks, Mo.
Thank you so much, AB. Komuzo, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Take it
Madume,
away.
everybody. Kalina ke Khomotso. Sales manager by profession. I've been in sales for 15 years. I've been in the RTM space for about 11 years. I'm 33, so this means I started mad young. I have had a clothing business for the past 4 years now, going on 4 years. Very excited. It's my first time here. Big fan of Maral. Very interested to hear what AB has to share. I also have stories and insights from my journey as well. Thank you so much for the time. I'm appreciative.
Thank you so much, Komuzo. So I'd like to know from you guys, what does your brand mean to you guys? You know, and what marketing strategies have you guys put in place to put yourself out there to have a certain perception about your brand? So, Morale, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, do you want me to go first?
Okay, take it away.
Well, people don't
Yes.
know that I am a music publisher, and they know the brand, the Morale brand, but the Morale brand has kind of like disappeared from the scene because I've been working on my music publishing company, which is called Mino Music. And if you are in the production industry, in terms of film or TV production, you would know my brand. You would know Mino Music because it's out there. We play some music on. Our music has been placed on um, Uzalo, Generations, Scheme Sum. Basically, you hear my music every single day, but you just don't know that it's my music. It's music from Mino Music. So the brand Mino Music is out there. It's. I think it's even bigger than the brand Morale in this industry that I'm in, and in production music. So we've worked with everyone basically. We've worked with Vodacom, Chicken Licken, KFC, the government. We've worked with almost every brand in South Africa. Um, and yeah, my brand. I love my brand. The brand is Mino Music, and yeah, every day uh, is motivational to get more clients. I try to push for more clients. I try push to have a bigger catalog because in the space that I'm in, um, we work with catalogs. So I have over 20,000 tracks out there, and I'm recruiting more composers to compose more songs so we can get their music out there, so the music can be in TV ads, and as background music on TV shows, can be used on social media ads and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's so silent. I don't hear anything. It's like I went mute.
I'm sorry, I'm on mute. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so it's been quiet all the time when I've been talking. I was just
No,
hoping
no, we
that
heard.
you guys
We
are
heard.
still there.
Yeah, Mo, I think there's a
Yeah,
question from Kumuto from for Morale.
Yeah.
Mo,
Am I on mute? Can you guys hear me?
And now I can hear
yeah, we can
everyone,
hear you.
but I couldn't hear anyone.
Oh, nah. So I was reminiscing high school glitz gang.
Yeah.
And you've got a video where you are in the field and there's fire. That was one of the
Yeah.
first literally fire videos that I ever saw from an artist in South Africa. Like I said, big fan. I'm from Soweto. I've seen you record in my hood. My
Yeah.
question, however, is do you miss the attention from back in the day now? Because it sounds like the current business is so big and it's like internationally recognized. Do you not miss maybe like being that guy again?
I do miss it. Even now, I'm actually planning on releasing new music, getting back into studio. I've been recording songs there and there, but people haven't heard it. I just need to put them together and release them. Um, I just have that urge because I'm always in studio, always making new tracks. It might not be hip hop because I get into studio to make gospel. I get into studio to make amapiano. I get into studio to make maskandi. I do every genre under my publishing company. So sometimes I miss just being Morale, getting into studio and coming up with Morale songs. And sometimes you catch me like when there was the holiday, I was writing. I wrote a whole song and stuff. And when I checked, damn, I had so many scripts that I've been writing to songs and songs. So when I hear something that I like, I just jot down the idea and write the songs and whatnot. But I haven't had time to like put them together as
And then put them out.
as morale songs like I used to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
but
answered.
I don't want the brand morale to die. So I must transform. I must move with the times and use morale. Morale must be the same guy that's the entrepreneur, you know? Morale must be the same guy that's making all these moves. There's no connection between Morale and Mino Music. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
No,
I'm
Yeah.
slowly making it happen. It will happen. I just need to bring Morale back again.
okay.
Yeah.
So back to my question, because now, I Morel, you are gonna be taking over my show now, because everybody wants to focus on you. Because I see a question now. It says, Sam Morel, how have you managed to fight the urge of not making Amapiano and not chancing your name like Vosinova?
Wow, I don't know if that was a low blow for Visunova, but I think collaborating with new sounds and not sticking to one sound is a good thing, you know, because as hip hop artists, we are taught to take a little bit of jazz, mix it up with hip hop drums, and try rap on it. Take a little bit of kwaito, mix it with hip hop, and do it. You know, before that is done, I think the hip hop society is reluctant, and they'll say, "Nah, nah, you selling off." If you're gonna rap on a kwaito beat or do whatever, but eventually we do get to that point where now you hear about Casper, about Chikulichana, their sound is more kwaito, you know. It's a combination of kwaito and hip hop. I did it myself, man. I collaborated with Zola, who's a kwaito star, legend, and we did a song. But I still kept it hip hop. He came with his own flavor, and we did it. But I guess if it was like 5 years before, at that time, people were gonna criticize and say, "Hey, why are you messing with Kwaito? Why are you messing with Kwaito?" Um, we just need to embrace what the people are loving and the times that we are in. You know, if this new sound is being loved internationally, embrace it. It's South African at the end of the day. The problem with South Africans sometimes you want to embrace things that are overseas faster than things that are here. You know, like if the rap world comes with some other flavor of hip hop that's worse than mumble raps, I'm sure you'll hear South African rappers trying to rap like that. So let's say guys are no longer rapping, it's no longer flowing, and it's the new vibe in America. Let's say they're just screaming, you know, everybody's gonna do that in
Happen
South
here.
Africa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mare, when they're listening to Amapiano every day and they actually lose themselves in it and they get caught and they remind themselves, why am I listening to this thing? Why am I liking it? And they force themselves not to like it when it's likable, you know? So to answer that question, for me, unfortunately, as Morale, I've been on the shelf for the last 4 years because I've been working on Mino music. Hence why I haven't gotten on this Amapiano vibe as Morale. But with Mino music, I work with it every single day. Like that's the music that makes me money. When Gom was in fashion, Gom made me the most money. You know what I'm saying? When Gom was in fashion, I made the you know the ad with the Cowboys, the ad with the Cowboys, yeah, chicken licking, and it
Yes. Yeah. I remember.
when the Cowboys are there and
Yeah, I know that.
they shoot on the ground and there's a Gom track that plays there. That's my Gom track.
Oh.
And that track made me so much
Yeah.
money just from that. The same Gom track was used in a lotto ad. Tolaguti, hey. I don't know if you know that ad. It was like Tolaguti, hey, and they played the same beat, the same Gom beat that was put on a chicken licking ad on that ad. So I got double payment for the same beat, and people don't even know that I got into studio and worked on releasing Gom tracks. We've got over like my publishing company has over 15 albums that are gone. People don't even know that. So I think in order to diversify, in order to make it and make money, you need to think like an entertainment entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? And take advantage. You don't have to be the brand that runs with it. You can be the guy in the background making the moves to make it happen. You know?
100% true. 100% with you there.
Yeah. Why were you laughing?
Yo!
Yeah, I wanted to ask, why are you laughing?
Hey, I want to put it in a way. I'm a hip hop fan, Murad. Since high school, since boom bap, I'm a hip hop purist. And as a hip hop purist, you know how they are. The pants sag, the sneakers are big, and you can't tell them anything. But I was thinking about it as a hip hop entrepreneur. Hip hop songs are tied to labels, and they tend to be less successful than songs the songs that are coming out via ads, via social media, the songs that are going viral. Can we make that point? So I was thinking about like album sales versus what you're getting from the business. Looks like it would be better for you to be within the music business as opposed to being a musician or an artist. That's the point that hit home for me the most, and that's what made me chuckle the most. It ties into my business. And Mulebogeng, I don't know if you were done, Moral, but I want us to go back to the original question, because I think now I know what kind of questions to ask, and I think I know now what I want from AB as well as Moral as well as you in this conversation.
Oh, okay, this is nice. I like it. So no, basically the question was, okay, Morale did answer. I was asking, what does your brand mean to you, and what marketing strategies have you put in place that worked for you as a brand? So I don't know who will go first between you and AB.
I'll give it to Art.
AB.
No, Khumutu wants to go first.
AB, are you there? Yeah. He said you can go first.
I say Khumutu must go first.
Yes, please.
Okay, absolutely. So for Mo, as I said in my initial intro, so I've been in the business of building brands. So I build brands. I'm that person in the background that does all the technical nitty-gritties that actually make the brands that people see when they're walking on the streets and stuff like that. So what makes brands? Firstly, a brand is not a product. Brand is not your logo. Brand is not your website. What is a brand? So a brand basically lives in the minds of the consumer. So firstly, before you make up a brand, you need to position it in the right consumer, in the right audiences. And then how do you do that? So before you build a brand, you need to have values. So the first premise where you start from is values. What do you stand for? After you have listed all those values, you need to have a mission. No, you need to have a vision, which is the holistic picture. Where does my brand fit in society? Once you've established that, you have a mission. A mission now you need to distinguish whether I need morale to partner with in order to make this vision come true. And once you've done that, you look at action plans and actually measuring the impact. So for big corporates, instantly, how do they make their brands a success? Firstly, it's not about spending huge amounts of budgets, trying to have a billboard ad, a TV ad. You need to understand where your consumer is. You need to understand what type of channel do I use to engage with that consumer at a particular time, at a particular place. You need to ascertain what state of mind are they in at that time. 8 o'clock, they most probably engaging with your soapies. They set it as a family. You can serve them an ad on TV. You can actually track TV by saying SMS this word. They SMS. You know how many people you've engaged with. So those are the parameters how you can measure whether you are in fact engaging with the right target audience. And once you have all those strategies, tactics in place, you need to build brand loyalty. So brand loyalty refers to retention. How well does your organization, how well does your brand retain customers, followers? For corporations, it's always going to be measured in revenue. For personalities, it's always going to be measured in we call it social commodity. How much followers do they have on social medias and stuff like that? The social commodities of this world. Once you build the right brand loyalty, your brand will initially start its own engine and move by itself, because now you would have reached the level of brand advocacy. Now, brand advocacy, you have people that are selling your brand on your behalf for you. In some instances, your brand starts to become a generic brand. For instance, hey, don't forget to buy that Colgate Aqua Fresh.
KPC big time.
That is an advocate. They prefer Aqua Fresh for the household, but the mere fact that that category they associate with a specific brand means that as a brand manager for Colgate, you've done an absolutely stunning job. So basically, more to answer your question in a nutshell, how do you put your brand out there and how do you make your brand a success? Know who your audience is. Stay true to your values. Know how your audience behave. Know how to interact with your audience at a certain state in time. And always calculate, always measure the efficacy of your communication campaigns. If you have a campaign, measure it. It will give you insights on how to better communicate with your audience going forward, which at the end of the day, each and every brand needs to do that, whether you're a corporate brand or you're a personal brand. You constantly need to optimize how you engage, because at the end of the day, consumers are constantly evolving. Yesterday's consumers is not today's consumers. The rate of elasticity of consumers shifting between brands has increased significantly. Why? Because there's more options out there. The rise of technological advances, like your digital media, has put us in a global village, where a product that is produced in China and is only sold within those parameters of that local area, you can actually order it via social media. So brands need to know what's happening around them. And also, just going back to what Morale said, Elian, as brands, we are brands. At the end of the day, we all need to make numbers. Brands need to be versatile. Going back to the example of Amapiano and so on, if an opportunity presents itself, you don't want to be left out like like Nokia and
Kodak.
BlackBerry, where Android technology said, guys, here's an opportunity. We're taking mobile technology to a completely different world. And they were set up on saying, no, this is how it has been done. Look at who owns the cell phone market now. It's those people those brands that actually said, okay, this could be something that could actually happen. So brands constantly need to be versatile in order to survive in this highly cluttered environment.
Thank you, AD. Thank you. Kumuzo?
Wow. Thank you, guys, for the time. I believe as a business person, I'm still very young. I believe my business is still very small. So, as it pertains to the brand conversation, I'd like to tell the story of something. It's a side hustle that I started when I was working in the retail industry. I was working at a suit store. And as a human being, I like solutions. I like being solution orientated, connecting people, solving small problems. So at this particular suit store, you would have customers come in with like specific requests. Can you put tradition in the lining? Can you make me a waistcoat from my father's jacket type thing? So that evolved into a custom wear business. And we were doing well. We were doing very well. We were not on social media. We were relying on word of mouth. Blog was started, website was started, and we were moving in a positive trajectory as far as small businesses in the country were moving until COVID hit. And then as a business, I had to pivot. As the head of the business, I had to think about an idea to pivot, an idea to still stay relevant. So when the business started, I was dealing with people that were in corporate. These people were mentoring young people, and fairly young myself. I was looking at the young people and what they were wearing. Started off with hoodies. Then it evolved into sweat tops, then a t-shirt, then a mask, then a hat. So currently the business is at a point where I'm doing TikTok videos for the sake of visibility, and I'm researching the right hashtags to use on TikTok when you're posting your videos. And I'm also exposing my brand, my clothing, to artists in the area that I grew up in. I mean, one of the artists' name is Nell Beats. He goes by T Vision now. He's bought some of my merch. I'm like, encouraging people to like wear it in your videos. You want me to like your stuff? Wear it in the videos. You got to wear it in the videos. Also, like I said, I'm a hip hop purist, so it's going to be difficult to have me in an Amapiano video. But I would love my clothing to be there. And I would love my clothing to be all over social media. So I'm looking into strategies like, identifying certain influencers on TikTok and then sending them like a gift pack for Christmas, and then just asking them to do an unboxing experience video on the gram, on TikTok, and use that, leverage off of that by selling clothes. As a business, currently, we are developing a digital footprint. The next step is things like Internet 3.0, cryptocurrency. The next phase is learning and development, like teaching people how to sell. The final stage, and this is where I'm like super villain stage, I want to own the means of production. So like from a farming perspective, the means of processing. So like from planting the cotton to making it a sheet, to making it a shirt, to putting print on the shirt, to it being on a website, and then till a customer receives that item. That's like the long-term vision of the brand that is something, or my vision rather, for the brand that is something. So, gents, I would love insights. Like we could talk about whatever, gents. Like I would love insights. You see. So when people say suits, they must go. I record something, yeah, Armani. That's what I want. That's what I want.
And it's possible, man. It's possible.
It's possible.
Definitely, definitely.
Mm.
going back to you getting visibility on TikTok, I would also suggest that you know the TikTok lives? You participate in TikTok lives. Do you know what that is?
I know about lives, but like I got a job, so
No,
next
but
step.
I'm just saying when you have time, when you have time, participate on those. You
Mm-hmm.
would be amazed at the level of engagement and support that I get. Because what I do is I go on lives on people's lives, I participate on people's lives, and I get people who actually want help, people who want to buy whatever or who want information, and
Mm-hmm.
they are the biggest support. Like TikTok is on another level. But okay, let's carry on now because I've got so many questions to ask, guys. So my next question is about when we talk about brand worthiness. Are we being arrogant, or does it mean you got the numbers, you're supposed to be arrogant about it? Because it's all about brand recognition and who you associated with.
So can you
So,
repeat that question again?
Maral,
Can you
Yeah, we will
repeat the
need to run
question?
that
when we
by.
talk
Oh.
when we talk about brand worthiness, are we being arrogant, or does that mean you on another level because you have the numbers?
Brand what?
Worthiness.
Worthiness, worthiness. So it's basically brand recognition. Are you allowed to be arrogant because you have that brand recognition, and because you are associated with certain brands? Are you getting me, guys?
Yeah, if I can go first, I think most of us
Okay,
here will relate to the term if like brand equity. So
okay,
if you have a yeah if you have a strong brand equity, so so first of all, if you have a strong brand equity, means that there's definitely something right that you're doing.
mm-hmm.
There is nothing wrong if you are a personality brand stating that your brand has reached a certain level within the realm. Uh, if uh, if you are a business and you are a leader in your market, there's definitely nothing wrong with you telling the competitors and and everyone in general that um, you are a leader within the market, because your brand your brand equity speaks for itself. It speaks positive. It speaks for a positive brand sentiment, which means there's a lot of positivity going around your brand. And by positivity, it doesn't necessarily mean brands stand for certain things. Uh, some brands stand spend to enlighten people with positive gestures. Some brands are not there to do that. But either ways, if they have the necessary brand equity and the positive perception to those people that they service, there's definitely nothing wrong with splashing it out there and telling the world that you are doing something right. And it also gives your followers, your customers, and your brand loyals reassurance that they made the right choice by sticking to this brand, because it is a leader in what it does, and it's not afraid to actually go out and say, I am a leader in what I do. Uh, that's my 2 cents.
I
Okay.
think if we had to look at personalities in the music business, I'd have to talk about Casper and AKA. I mean, they've gone through a long tiff with each other for a long time. I can say it's over 10 years now, man. These guys have been at it, going back and forth, back and forth. And if you look at Casper, he set a milestone that any other artist in this country has never set, who is a hip hop artist, which is filling up the dome. And he achieved that milestone, and he reminds everybody about him filling up the dome. which is his brand. I mean, I stay next to the dome. I just have to stand on my balcony and I see the dome right now. And every time I see the dome, I think of Casper. Every single time. Every time I have to go to Northgate Mall, as big as what the dome is, that's how I feel Casper is. I mean, filling up the dome is an extraordinary achievement. So he keeps on working on milestones throughout his career that he talks about all the time. It becomes part of his brand. Like we knew after him filling up the dome and filling up the next stadium, we knew that it's Casper's thing now. It's his brand. He's the guy that fills up these places that people that the other artists don't do. I mean, the last show that he pulled in Durban, where he's like, he was being strung up in the audience, on top of the audience, and he seemed like he was flying and stuff. Like he's the artist that's always challenging the status quo, challenging his boundaries, setting new milestones. Even when he's setting a new milestone, he's setting a new milestone on top of a new milestone. I mean, that stadium, I've never seen that in my life in South Africa. I've never seen an artist being catapulted and pulled over artist ever since I've been born in this country until to this day. I've never seen it. You know, I've never seen an artist that's got two Bentleys in this country who's a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen an artist who stays in the neighborhood that he stays who's a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of competition, he's outshined his competition by embracing his milestones, by talking about his milestones. Now, if you compare the two brands, who took over someone's turf recently? Between Casper and AK, who took over someone's territory? Like the show that happened, the barbecue show, the bigger brand won at the end of the day. So it answers your question.
It does. Thank you. It does. It does. Komodo, have you got something to say? Add on.
Fully concur with the gents. Also, the only thing I want to add is this thing is a lot of work. Okay. It's a lot of work to. It's producing to. So, give you guys an example. I struggle to record one song a month. So when I hear that somebody has 20,000, you know what I'm saying? It's the work, bro. It's the work. If we're talking sports, it's waking up at 4 a.m. to gym. It's doing the extra kilometer, guys. And I'm a person who puts a lot into the stuff that I do right now. So yes, I do have an attitude when my brand is brought up in any form of conversation. I try and steer the conversation into whatever the conversation may be. It has to be, my brand needs to be associated with being solution orientated. And that's because I put in a lot of work into making sure that the brand is visible, the brand is accessible as well. If I seem arrogant, doing it.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people have been caught in their hands in the cookie jar, you know, and that kind of like has affected their brand status, you know. So, I don't know, how do you feel? How do you feel that people should handle like bad negativity, because you cannot avoid it, and I was having a conversation with my TikTok viewers that are there enough black PR companies that actually help small brands when they experience such? Because
So Mo,
sometimes you cannot.
so Mo,
Can you hear
in
me?
yeah, we can hear you. So as a PR company, for me to do crisis and reputation management on your behalf, you have to be my client, or you have to come to me and make a proposal that you can I do a PR campaign uh, which focuses on crisis management and reputation management for pro bono.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
so I don't think I know a lot of black PR companies who are making strides in the industry, but to be quite honest, if the relationship is non-existent, I don't see them just going up to a black business and saying you've been hardly hit by this reputation crisis. We would like to help you, if that makes sense.
Mm.
But just to finalize, Mo, how to deal with negativity. First of all, you always need to tackle it. You cannot have a negative post on social media and say, no, give it 2 days, it will die out, and then delete it. Because probably someone has taken a screen grab. The Internet of Things has made what everything we say to live beyond us. So, firstly, in a crisis and reputation management situation, you constantly need to tackle the issue at hand. You constantly need to engage those people that it affects. You need to reassure them that if it's something that is ongoing, you are currently looking into it. If it's
On top
something
of
that has transpired, uh, it has happened. There's nothing you can do. You were in the wrong corner. Come up, come out and say it was wrong. You're investigating what could have happened. You reassure the general public that it was an error and it won't happen going forward again.
Okay. Anybody wanna add on to that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. One, people used to, like back in the day, like in the 90s and whatnot, I'm pretty sure celebrities had like huge scandals. That
They
if
still
there
do.
was social media, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays, people get famous, and I guess now we're going into the cancel culture conversation, but people will get famous for just doing the wrong things and doing the worst things. As it pertains to brands, there's the shying away from it is the worst thing that you can do. Ignoring whatever negative publicity you have is the worst thing you can do, because then you have no control over the narrative. So AB mentioned something that I used to do in the food store. Yeah, I'm sorry, the suit is too small, the pants ripped. This sort of thing doesn't happen. We normally source the best cotton from where. So here's another one. In fact, buy this as well, type thing. You need to be able to take the negative and find a way to grow from there, especially on social media, because that could be your next viral moment. That could be the next move that catapults you even further. You know, that's it from
Yeah,
me.
because like I feel like celebrities are doing this whole. I think this question is directed to Mora. Are they still doing this thing of um public stunts? Creating a stunt just to get the numbers. Do people still do? Do celebrities still do that?
Yeah, I'm guessing so. I know they have to. If
To
you
survive.
quiet, you need to do something, And if you're about to drop
Yeah.
something, you need to do something, You need to name call some people, start some beef somewhere. I mean, for your stuff for the audience to be interested in you.
Survival
Is
of
that
the
the only
fittest.
strategy? Like, is that the only strategy to get the
No,
numbers
there's a
and to
lot.
get
There's
the
a lot of
customers?
strategies. There's a lot of strategies, but I think that's the one that works the best on social media. I think it's not the
And
only one.
yeah, and I also think that's the one that would get a faster takeoff, getting
Yeah.
those numbers we actually need.
And then
Agree.
going to the cancel culture. I want you to guys to give me your own perspective. What do you think about the cancel culture?
What is the cancel
Who wants to
culture?
go?
What we
Like,
can.
I'm also lost today. Like,
What are we can?
The cancel culture. So the cancel culture is when you are associated with a big brand, and then you say something controversial that kind of like will taint or like damage their reputation. They basically right there and then they cut you off the contract, you know. So I feel like people don't even have an opinion anymore because you just said something controversial that's not in alignment with, maybe you are working for a company, you would literally get some backlash or you would get fired because you were entertaining a certain conversation. For example, MacG, like MacG is famous for the cancel culture as well because he said something about the LGBTQ, and then his contract with was it Old Mutual was
Yeah. Oh,
cancelled
yeah.
because of,
Old mutual.
yes. So that's what I'm talking about, the cancel culture. You know, there are no rules in this cancel culture. There is no fairness. You know, if you say something wrong, no, they're not gonna forgive you. Like your contract, your career is damaged for good.
But
So you
I
guys
think
get
before
the,
I think before
yeah.
you even go there, I think you must uh build a brand that stands on its own, that doesn't really need like sponsors and whatnot. You must stand for something. Like AB said, um, you need to stand for something. Have your vision, um, and work on your next move. And like AB said, as you build your brand and you get there, a whole lot of people will want to collab with you, you know, and be part of your journey. And those people, if they come in your journey and leave your journey, it's fine. You still have your journey to accomplish and see to the end, you know. So if Bo Mutual leave and whoever leaves, then you must know that that's the game. It comes with the game, because you didn't come there because of Old Mutual. You got into the game because of your vision. So stick to your vision when that happens. That thing mustn't even, you mustn't even feel um it blowing you aside or derailing your plans. Look at McG now. What is Old Mutual saying now about McG? They're like, oh, we did the
You
wrong
can
move.
F stop.
He's bigger than
Yeah.
before. So yeah, I guess that answers your question.
Okay. If you want to add on to it,
so more
or you good?
from my end. So basically, brands are like personalities. We
Mm.
live in a world where there are millions and millions of personalities. Personalities need to communicate. Personalities need to socialize. So brands are similar to personalities. So they make acquaintances. Look at your life's journey from when you were born to where you are now. You've made a lot of acquaintances along the way. Some still exist, some ended in a positive, some ended in a negative manner. But life goes on. The same as branding. So you just need to uh, reposition reposition your brand and move forward.
And then what are you guys doing to bring a positive brand image for upcoming brands? Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
You run the
I,
bami
I
again?
I think okay.
Yeah, Mora.
What are we doing to what? I'm sorry, I was asking for the question again. What are we doing to what?
What are you guys doing to bring a positive brand image for upcoming brands?
Okay.
Okay, I would say it's doing exactly what AB said, that vision, that the goals that you have set, the strategies that you have set for your brand, by executing them and doing the best that you can do and taking it to the next level is that's the best you can do for other brands that are looking that want to go to where you want to go. You know, I think being the best at what you do.
100%. Also, you can't pour from an empty cup, so you can't. You first need to ensure that you have mastered what you want people to know you for, or what you want to be renowned for first, and then you can look at different ways of encouraging people into being entrepreneurs, going into the whatever industry you will be working in. It starts first with the brand. Make sure that the brand is as established and renowned as possible before you now want to start hosting charity events. For me, anyway.
Yeah, you can't give someone water whilst you are still thirsty. Emo, I'll speak at it from the bigger, from a more holistic approach. Also, just to give small and coming brands insights that they might need, and also where gaps exist within the corporate environment and how they can actually leverage from those gaps. So a lot of corporates have your corporate social investment and corporate social responsibility drives, where they actually have to work with young upcoming brands in South Africa, and so that actually gives them exposure. So in some instances, my previous role, I used to work within the airline industry before COVID and everything came to exist. So we would have a lady that owned a boutique store, design and develop uniforms. And I'm talking about 4,000, like thousands of uniform for all the staff.
Yeah.
So those are things that exist, and for small and upcoming brands and businesses, firstly, you definitely need a friend in procurement and in marketing. Now I'm just joking, guys, but but you need to establish some form of correspondence or engagement with those people, just to stay abreast. Hey guys, are you not doing some form of, this is what I do, this is my business plan, this is my business profile. If you guys have anything you might need, services that we render, can you please use us? In some instances, you can even go as far as saying, I'm willing to do it for pro bono or for a very discounted amount. Because if you look at some of these brands, they're huge. So if you do get your product out to them, let's say for the previous example I used within the airline industry. So basically, the airline industry I used to work with, the airline industry. You go to Bloemfontein, we have a counter. Cape Town, Durban, you engage with that uniform. You ask them now, hey guys, who designed the uniform for you? Yeah, no, it's this person. You go on Instagram, yeah, this person only has 3,000 followers. You follow them. You grow as a brand. So small brands must not all the time expect big brands to come up to them and say, hey, we have the millions, we want to assist you. No one wants to give money to anyone, even businesses.
handouts.
Even
Yeah.
multi-billion dollar businesses don't give handouts. But if you show them that you are a brand, you wanna grow, what I mentioned first, you need to pester them, know what's going on, know what supplier development initiatives are going on, are coming, and try to leverage from them.
And then, how can you separate yourself from the brand you built? And should there be a line of distinguish between you and your brand? So, like, can you basically separate Mo from being Mo to be Mo being Mo Salute? You know, I believe like morale, you've kind of like separated yourself from the brand and the entrepreneurial side of things. How did you make that transition?
I think the brand morale or the artist morale had to take a hit on for that, because
Mm-hmm.
in order to do what I needed to do, I needed to be there as Tabo Malefani pushing my publishing company. However, morale did help me a lot because the industry that I was getting into, they already knew me. You know, all the composers that I work with already knew me. They've been trying to send beats to me for the last 15 years. So now I was like, okay, instead of taking 3 beats, I'll take 30 beats. And let me make money for you. Like passive income for you while you chasing the next artist. Because a lot of your music just dies in your computer because all these composers have like 3,000 beats to 2,000 beats sitting there and they're not doing anything. You know, they're looking for artists out there. So the fact that they were talking to a rapper who's actually listening to them now, not saying, yeah, send me your beat to my email address, so they could just get rid of them. I was listening and calling them back and adding them on my WhatsApp and talking to them personally and stuff. So I think what made my company accelerate at the rate that it did, it's because of morale. Even though I was trying to separate the two, I used morale within my company, within this new brand that I was building to build this brand. You know, it's just that the general public doesn't know this brand too, because this brand is not for the general public. It's for people in that space, in the production music space, and people that edit um, films, that edit, um, um, that do music for ads, that do music for TV shows that you see every day. Those are my target audience. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't market it to AB because unless AB is working on a personal project that he's working with one of the brands that he's working with, and they want specific music for that brand, then I could start targeting AB, you know. But AB, he wouldn't be in charge of the music part of that brand. So I'd go for the person who's gonna make the final
Agency.
decision. Yeah. So that's my client. Those are my people. So that's why you don't see me advertising Mino music anyway, because it's getting advertised at the right people are getting the messages. They're getting the communication. They know the brand, and the brand is growing with them because it's been interacting with them. They use it every single day of their lives. When they're creating stuff that you see every time on TV. But you guys on social media don't need to see this brand. So my brand is very it's not as big as what Morale was to the general public, but it's big in its own niche industry.
And I feel like that's the important thing, to always keep things niche. Um, this is how it's easy for you to separate from one element of the business to another. People that
Mm.
I try to model my business after are Ralph Lauren, who wasn't a designer. He was just model. And he was just wearing jeans with his model friends, and that evolved into a business. Avi, I was laughing when you were speaking. Did you know that Hugo Boss originally did the uniforms for the Nazis in World War II?
What?
Hugo Boss, you know the clothing brand Hugo Boss?
Yeah.
They used to do the uniforms for Nazis, for the
Oh, big.
German
Oh,
soldiers.
big.
I think
Yeah.
they call
Even.
it.
Yeah. Even Levi's. Levi's used to be like your factory clothing. That's how
Mm,
they make the mark in the industry, and then they ventured into consumer goods.
100%, 100%. So, um, if you have something specific and small that you're doing, and you're able to grow it to the point where you're making sums of money from it and you're attracting opportunities from it, because it's so niche, it should be easy for you to say, "Oh, okay, I also do this," or "Oh, okay, now we are here." 48 laws of power call it reinvention. Must always be able to reinvent yourself more.
Mm.
If you wanna add on, or must I move on?
No, I think you can move on, Mo.
So
Mhm.
what? Because I want to talk about brand experience. So what brand experience would one get from associating themselves with your guys' brand?
That one's easy for me. It's family.
Uh huh.
If you
For
buy,
me,
sorry, all right. Go ahead. Let's go.
oh
Go
no,
ahead.
no, no, no. Sorry for cutting you. Go ahead.
Anybody that buys anything from me needs to feel like they supported that friend or that cousin, that's been on their grind struggling. So I try to deliver the stock myself, um, make sure that there's a social media impression with whoever I'm delivering stock to. Yeah, just to bring a sense of family.
And
Okay.
I think for me, for Mino Music, which is the brand that I've been investing my time in for the last 4 years. It's Mzansi, like South Africa. Like when you listen to my music, it's South African. Even the word Mino, it's Sutu.
Mm.
It's just Mino
Meno.
music. Yeah, it's Mino. It's the same thing. So it's very, very Mzansi.
Yeah. Now I
You
get
know?
it. Now I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So that's why I do
It's
everything. That's why I do Maskandi. That's why I do Amapiano, Gom, everything. That's South African.
so yeah. It's a memorable experience. It's our culture. We can relate. So
Yes.
yeah, I get you. I get you.
Mm.
Maybe
Uh, your question
I
was
actually
related to brand
I
experiences,
actually
eh?
have a question.
Brand
Eh?
experiences. Well, it
Yeah.
was brand experience. So so if you still recall that crying like I took you guys through values and funneling it down. So there's something that a brand needs. The two most important one. It's a it's a brand mission. The brand mission, those ones that you funders, people that will mostly fund the business are most concerned about because they want to see the actionable deliverables that you're actually willing to take. And then there's the brand vision, which is the more holistic picture, which as a brand specialist, I think it's the most important one. So if you take these two and actually derive, there should be something that's called a brand promise. So a brand promise it's a promise you make with regards to your brand. Umuto might not uh, know it, but unconsciously he has a brand promise, which is his brand is that it will always be something personal. You understand? If you support me, that we are building a personal relationship here, not that it's just a transaction that's happening and then if you go to morale, his promise is to deliver on a genuine and original South African music.
Content.
So now, how do you ensure that's where experience comes through? If you deliver on your experience, on your promise, Mo, which means you are meeting your brand, the brand experience that you deliver to your end customer. So from my side, you have to constantly meet the brand promise in order to effectively know that you are meeting uh, the the brand experience that customers expect from your brand.
So, AB, I want to ask you this. Uh, when, especially you are in the corporate side, like, when does brand restructuring come in? Does do you, okay, you brand restructure because maybe you want to change maybe your target audience, or you wanna, you maybe you have a scandal and you just rebranding, or you want to be relevant. Like, when does that come into play, and how often does rebranding take place? Like, is it because you have to stay relevant in most cases?
So so when you look at rebranding, Mo, in most instances, it's external forces pushing from outside to the inside, which is forcing you as an organization to take steps. It might be changes within the market. What are your competitors doing right? Do you also need to adapt and make use of some of the tactics that they are making use, or is it consumer driven? uh, how is our consumer behavior changing? So a lot of people when they think about brand management, more they just think we go to strike deals with celebrities. Hey, do this for my brand. Just have a cool advertisement on TV, on radio, on social media. There's a lot of technical uh, activities that go at the back end, which is purely data driven. Uh, Most of us brand managers most probably we suffer from data paralysis because we are exposed to so much data. For for instance, my audience for the brands that I cater for, we're looking at an audience of 28 million people. Uh, how many out of those 28 million people do we transact with on a day-to-day basis on social media, on our website? How are we making use of that data? So going back to why companies rebrand, though that data, those analytics will tell the company that certain changes need to happen. Uh, we no longer making our KPIs. So another another thing that causes brands to rebrand is if they are not making their KPIs when it comes to brand health. So in brand management we have KPIs which go back to brand health. We look at a lot of instances, a lot of indicators that actually tell us where we are with regards to brand health. That's why we can actually come back and say, no, man, something needs to happen. And then in some instances, it happens because of what? Of crisis management, of reputation management, that we need to rebrand. You look at something similar to the rebranding of ABSA. That followed after several communication was out on social media, uh, linking them to apartheid corruption. So they needed to move away from the brand, which was Bartley's. ABSA was Bartley's, ABSA by Bartley's. So they needed to be an African brand. That's when you can even see that their rebranding was done because they went out to the market, they understood the market, and then the market said, "Hey guys, in order to win, in order to shift our perceptions, you guys have to be an African bag, Africanicity." That's when data is effectively used to actually tell a story of what people are actually thinking, and then successful implementation gives you the example that I just shared with you guys.
Uh, so, before we close, I just have two more questions, and yeah, we're gonna be done now. So, my two last question is: as entrepreneurs, what challenges made you a better entrepreneur? And then, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs that would like to enter into your field of expertise? So, Moral, you can go first. It's like you're not there, hey?
I was like, no, I've been talking the whole time. So how am I not there? You know, I'm always asked to talk first.
Yeah.
Okay, like for me to even be where I am, it's all because of my struggles. I wouldn't be where I am now because it was easy for me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy. If it was handed to me and somebody said, okay, here's a textbook, study to be a music publisher, and here's everything that you need, I wouldn't be a music publisher today. I only
Yeah.
became a music publisher because of the hurdles and struggles that I was going through, you know, in the music business. Because me being a music publisher was because of one failure. My one failure was my biggest success also. I did a song called Call My Number. Ane? Well, Call My Number. The intention of that song was to do the song and approach Vodacom and ask for sponsorship from Vodacom, because the song, it goes like, I got what you need, call my number, you know? And that
Yeah.
song was written for Vodacom. I wanted to go to Vodacom and pitch, but I also wrote it in such a way that it's for to uplift youth that are going through tribulations and struggles and stuff. But when the song came out, it blew so big, and that was one of my plans for a song to blow. Then once the song is blown, I would go to a brand like Vodacom or Celsi or Telcom, any of those brands, and sell the song to be like a theme song for any of their campaigns, or for me just to be involved in any activations that they did, or even become a brand ambassador for one of them. But that didn't happen, so I failed with that. Then I was like, okay, let me try do another song. Then I did another song called Lotto. And I'm like, okay, when I'm gonna write the song, and once I'm done, I'm gonna attempt the same thing that I did with Call My Number, but this time I'm gonna approach the national lottery, and pitch and say, okay, this song, I want to be an ambassador for the national lotto, and I want to perform at all your activations and gigs and stuff. So I want my brand to work with your brand, you know? And I did that. And for the first time, it happened, you know? And my song was used to be the theme music on the National Lottery show, you know? And that was my biggest check in the music business at that time. So for me at that time, that's when I decided I want to do more music like that. That would be put in TV shows. Then my struggle started by me going to go to these agencies and going to all these production companies. Then they told me, no, your catalogs are too small. You can't bring 50 songs here. You know,
Yeah.
we working with guys that bring 50,000 tracks all at once. Then they actually made me research these guys that do that. Bo Universal, bo the brands that you know, but you don't know that they are big in that space. You know, like both Sony, Universal. Then there's companies like Bola Lela. So what I did is that I approached those companies and I worked for them. I composed music and I gave them a hell of a lot of music that was playing every day on TV, on ETV, everywhere, you know, for me to actually start my own company. So I had to pay my dues, give these guys music upon music for like 3 years. Then I started my own company after knowing how it works. So I was struggling to get my music out there. I had to put my brand aside and build other brands with my talent. You know? Then once I did that, once I had enough money and I had the know-how, that's when I created my own company and I had to start from scratch. All the music that I gave all those guys belonged to those guys. And I had to start from scratch to build a catalog that now has 20,000 tracks from scratch. So for
Wow.
me, it's been a struggle and a struggle and a struggle. People telling me no, people telling me you can't do this, and me opposing it. So I've got the same drive as a rebel without a cause, you know?
Yeah.
So I've been a rebel all this time, saying no, I can do it. When people say you can't do it, I'm like, the hell yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You know, even my music career, that's how it happened. Like I went to a show with my girlfriend, and I was standing there watching Pro Kid perform. May his soul rest in peace. He was staring at my girlfriend. So I took that personal, you know, and he was flirting with my girlfriend, and my girlfriend was flirting back with him. I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna record a mixtape because I've been rapping all my life, and I'm gonna make sure that my mixtape is better than this guy, you know. And I dropped the mixtape and stuff, and my mixtape wasn't being played or whatever. That's when I got to know about a little bit of publishing, that I need my metadata on tracks and stuff, you know. And I got to learn more about radio, how radio works, how they just an advertising, they're like an advertising agency, and all they're selling is ads. But you know, you need to find your way there so you can grab an audience that they are looking for. So YFM is looking for a certain audience, Metro FM is looking for a certain audience, and that's all they care about. So you need to make music that caters for those audiences for you to play on their platforms. So I learned that through struggles from people saying, no, we're not going to play your song on Metro FM because you swear too much, you know?
Yeah.
So I went back and did songs that don't swear that much, you know? Then I got people saying, you sound too New York, you sound too American. And that's when I had to go back. Even Lance Stern told me I sound too American. I had to go back and I did that song that Khomotso was talking about in the fire called I Am. And in that song, I was trying to talk, I was being American with my American accent, whatever, this accent that I have. Mare, the content, everything, every word was South African. I am Marcus Garvey. I am Hector Peterson. I am Steve Biko, you know? So all the words that I said were all South African because I was trying to hit that audience that all these people were saying I'm not hitting. And once I did hit that audience, that's why I won fans like Bokomoto right here, you know? So it was struggle after struggle. Even shooting that video was a struggle, you know?
Yeah.
So my struggles got me to say to where I am now as an entrepreneur because I just said, the hell with everything, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it myself and I'm going to make sure I work in it and perfect it and do it.
Thank you so much. Oh yeah, you and give advice to people who want to get into the industry.
I'd say you just need to do it. Start today. Start now. If you don't have something, work on creating your own setup. You know, start with creating your own studio. Invest in becoming more than just the artist. Become the manager. Become a producer. You know what I'm saying? And build yourself and get people that want to see you win around you and work with them, you know.
Thank you so much.
Before thinking you can go out there and asking Morale to put you on or Zola to put you on or AKA to put you on, they're not going to put you on. It's like you asking another brand, like the guy said, they're not going to do any charity.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
They busy filling up their cup. And even if they filled up their cup, like AB said, there are companies out there that are sitting with billions, but they're not going to come to you and say, hey, here's money. You really, really need to convince them. And the only way to convince them is be your best, get the numbers, be out there, kill it, get your audience to want you, fulfill that promise, that marketing and brand promise that AB was talking about to yourself. You must have that promise and you must fulfill it and you must make sure that you keep that promise when whoever your client or audience is, you need to keep that promise. Yeah. That's my 2 cents.
That was not even 2 cents.
Don't forget 2 bottle or 2 tight. That's a Tony Black bar.
No, I think more. I think it's the right content your audience wants to see and hear. So yeah, we don't mind, eh? More.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Can you remind me what was the last question?
I spoke so long.
I got lost there.
So yeah, my question is what not your question actually. What advice would you give? Okay, what challenges made you a better entrepreneur? And what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs that want to enter into your field of expertise?
Okay, so I think once in the show, now I'm not gonna talk about AB as the professional, but AB as the hustler. So so I'm in the marketing and branding consulting sphere. Firstly, the first challenge it's cluttered. There are a lot of well-established companies and consulting organizations that are already doing what we are currently doing. We seek to assist your small businesses in how to make a positive impact from when actually coming up with a brand strategy to a brand positioning strategy to going to the actual market. How do you market yourself? Challenges that arise is, firstly, it's from an audience perspective. The audience in the market is reluctant on paying for services. In most instances, I don't blame them. It's purely based because of budget constraints. So challenges as an entrepreneur that you incur is finding the client base that has the right financial positioning with in which they can afford your services, especially in being a startup and operating in an environment that is very cluttered. And also now you look at what we offer. It's a service, so it doesn't have anything tangible. So people tend to question it a lot. It's like, Ape is really selling me marketing advice. Can't I just do this myself? Which in most instances, some brands can, some cannot. That's the harsh reality. Some brands do need to AP to actually effectively guide them into those turbulent environments, just to make sure that they use all their capacity to gain as much return on investment as they need. Advice I would give to upcoming brands who particularly fall within my realm, which is communication, whether it be digital, it be offline, is find your niche. There's always that niche where you belong. There's always that audience that will respond in a positive way to your service offerings. Find that niche. Once you find that niche, stay true to your brand values and always uphold your brand promise. Do what you promise, and the rest will fall in place. And especially when you're at the start, when you're a startup business, dream big, but focus on the small wins. Look at the lowest hanging fruit and always make sure that you satisfy it. The lowest hanging fruit will take you to the next level, and so on and so forth. I think that's all from my side, Mo.
Thank you, AB.
You're on mute.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Komodo, your challenges and advice. Are you ready?
I am still muted. My bad. My bad. I told you should have done this on Teams. Firstly, I agree with the gents 110%. I agree more so with AB because he just spoke. But you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Let's start there as a point of departure. Ne? A lot of businesses fail because of lack of consistency. Because I got the low-hanging fruit last week, and now I don't see any fruit on this level, so I don't want to aspire for more. You've got to get started, and you've got to consistently grow from there. I mean, my favorite challenge was the financial one. The reason why my business was started was I was working in a suit store. I believed I was managing one of the best sales teams in the mall. And I just felt like the gents and I weren't getting paid enough. So I then went out I then set about, registering a business and ensuring that, I register a domain as well. And we get the ball rolling. I'm not at the point where I can maybe like get designs from a friend and produce them, but I do have a website now. and we can take pictures that people do. So this is advice to people that want to start within clothing and whatnot. I love what Skanda is doing. I love what there's like two street brands that are very, very prominent right now. Also, giving respect to brands like Blockchain Culture as well as Bhutan, there has to be more of us. There is no reason why we are still wearing Versace. There is no reason. In my honest and subjective opinion, I believe there is a lot of money to be made the smart way, and we would all benefit if everybody at least had an idea of getting into the clothing or fashion business. I feel like it would create a better fashion industry if we all in one way, in one shape or form, try and enter. I mean, for me, I don't want to do this for long. As I said in the intro, I want to move into production. As I said in my intro, I want to move into things like cryptocurrency and Ethereum. Internet 3.0. So you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started. And once you get started, be consistent. That's it for me.
So you into crypto?
Yes, you need to mint that first single, Moral. Sorry. As you were talking, I was like, yo, actually, he needs to mint that thing as an NFT. It's the way.
Yeah. I saw what's that platform? They're already doing that. I'm already with that platform.
Luno.
But
It has to be. Ludo is like the biggest one.
no, the music platform, King. How can I forget? I use them, but yeah, they offering artists NFTs.
Yeah.
Contra King, I cannot forget the same company that distributes my. Sorry, I forgot it.
Please send it to us.
I'll send it. Yeah, but like I just
is
said.
Is it DistroKid? Wait, is it not DistroKid?
DistroKid. Yeah, DistroKid.
Okay. DistroKid is the future.
I think they're offering 10,000 artists an opportunity to create NFTs for their music or albums.
That's so dope. Yeah. We need to hop onto that. NFT music is the future. Right now, labels are in control, but with NFTs, it's the fans that are in control. So, Mo, please set up.
I made like 10x on what's this thing? I made money on the Dogecoin.
Dogecoin. Yeah.
And I just made money on the Shiba Inu 10x.
Shiba Inu is the next one. Shiba Inu is the next wave. Mo, please set it up. We need to have another panel discussion where we just talk crypto. I did not know this. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people want me to have all these type of conversations, but it's not.
Here's an NFT in the back. Here's an NFT in the back.
What's the side of you?
That's pretty cool.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people want me to have like all these conversations, but it's so difficult to get a panel. And sometimes my panel has to be strategic in a way that how can we help each other and link up and use each other's services and buy each other's products. So yeah, sometimes it's so hard to get a panel, but overall I make it possible, and I get the best out of it, and I learn a lot. And so thank you guys for being part of my channel. This was awesome.
Appreciate you so much.
Thanks for the invite, Mo.
Peace for everything. Thank you.
Mo, please connect.
It was a very informative session.
Yeah,
a lot of takeaway points that I'm very sure amongst ourselves are gonna take offline, and also for your lovely audience, Mo.
Yes, most definitely. I'm getting messages from WhatsApp. I don't understand why but some plainly more now more commenting for you this and this. But anyway, so thank you to everyone who joined in and engaged on the conversation. It was great. Some people are now telling me, "Ke gone they ba bona gore I'm live because I had two sessions." So I think they got confused. But I'm in my mind, I'm like, hello, validity poster. Hello, validity poster. But anyway,
Mm,
it's okay. It's okay. So cheers,
mm.
everyone.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Cheers, James.
Cheers.
Peace.
Mm.
Oh, this is so dope. Oh, this was dope. Oh, this was dope. This was dope.